Good evening everyone and welcome along to TTML F1. We are here for Season 7, Round number 1 of the Championship as we take in the Bahrain Grand Prix from the Sakhir International Circuit. My name is James Hay, going to be taking to the stream as always on a Sunday night, and joining me in the commentary box, you might have heard him of course on Thursday, stepping up to F1, replacing Luke Etheridge this season, it is Mr. Pepsi Freak. Pepsi, how you doing?
I'm doing good today. I got a promotion, so I'm here to join you in F1 and watch the best of the best of TTML, drive around for a 14-race calendar and see who can maybe step up to our previous champion, maybe bring the thunder, and maybe bring a fight to him.
Yeah, definitely so, and of course our champion being Jensen. Jensen, of course, is once again back. He is racing here tonight as well. Whether or not the champion can keep his championship crown remains to be seen. Of course, we have got that 13-race calendar, as Pepsi was already alluding to. You might be wondering as well, who on earth is going to be driving this season in TTML? Well, let me run you through, of course, the driver lineup quickly. If I can get the graphic up, that would be great. In the Mercedes, we have Rudy and Funky Chicken. In the Ferrari, we've got Khan making a step up, of course, from F5 and Chalkers in the Ferrari. Jensen and Med TC, interesting pairing in the Red Bull. Boss Wanted and Harry Banks in the Alpine. Black Box and Davey in the Aston Martins. Juan Rocco and Chris in the Williams. Carlsbury and Hyper in the Haas. Basti and Smalley in the Alfa Romeo, Lynx and Fleddy in the McLarens, and Ares and Luca representing the AlphaTauri team. 4 reserves as well to that: Vengeance, Baz, F1 Lover, and Lewis Rocks. Interesting that Lewis Rocks is there as a reserve after F2 last season. And obviously, looking at that driver lineup, Pepsi, one team immediately steps out at me, and that is the Red Bull pairing. Jensen and Med TC. I know Med TC very well from another league. The Finn teaming up with the current defending champion, and I think that's probably the best pairing of all of this driver lineup going into the season.
I'm looking at the rest of the lineups here, and I see some where one driver I've seen the name before, and I'm like, yeah, they're a pretty strong driver, but I have a little bit of question marks around the other one. I know Harry, for instance, pretty strong, so I'm an F2. Kyle Bag. Boss Wanted. Don't have enough track record to go off him. Chris is another good example in the Williams, but Juranjo is another name again. It's not enough experience. I can say, oh, he'll be a good right-hand man, but I could be wrong on that point. But I think there's a couple teams that maybe could challenge the Red Bulls, but I do agree with you. I think the Red Bulls are the strongest team out there in the field. They are the preseason favorites, bar none.
Yeah, Med TC, just to put a little bit of perspective on him, because I know you haven't commentated on him before, Pepsi. He was formerly F1 Esports, not the Challengers. Was it the Challenger Series? Yeah, the Challenger Series. He was under the name of Shazoo Name Changer. Yeah, did you know that?
No, I did not know that. Oh, hey, good to know to see some of the best of the esports in F1 are coming to TTML. So shows a little bit of a shows TTML can get some top name drivers here and bring the good thunder of competition. But didn't know that.
Definitely so, but I've got to ridicule Med TC. I mean, he's here in TTML F1 when he should be in the Challengers Series once again. But he's a very quick driver. When he gets everything right, he is a very quick driver. And I think him pairing up with Jensen is such a significant pairing. Immediately, I'm looking at the McLarens as well. Lynx and Freddy, both McLarens, both IFR drivers, of course. Lynx was here last season, along with Fleddy. Both of them are very consistent in terms of the top 10, I think, in the terms of the championship. And Lynx proved that in season, I think it was season 5 in Abu Dhabi. He had such a strong qualifying. He didn't make a goal, though, in the race. McLaren's, for me, probably the team that can take it to the Red Bulls.
I feel like McLaren is going to be like AlphaTauri in F2 last season with Noisy and Jorg. No, using a little bit of reference. Hey, if you want to go watch F2, you can. This was previously this Thursday. But back to my comparison, it's a situation where they were consistent. They weren't really the strongest drivers. Like, they weren't completely going out there for wins. I think Jorg only got 1 win in the season. But they were consistently there. And if they can consistently rack up maybe 5th or 6th or 4ths and maybe take advantage of maybe the Red Bulls having some shortcomings, they could easily find themselves in a situation where they may be at the top of the table and winning the Constructors.
Yeah, plenty of support coming through for Khan as well in the Ferrari, making that step up, of course, from F5. Very interesting to see, of course, how he's going to be getting on. Obviously, running no assists. The first time I think he is running no assists here in TTML. How do you see that pairing, of course, alongside Chalkers, who was formerly TRT, now part of ERT, which I think is a very good signing for them?
I think it'll be interesting to watch. They got 2 good names there, and it should be a very interesting watch to see what happens. They do have some pace, so I generally do think it's good signing for them. It's a good pickup, and it really should help the team going forward.
Yeah, definitely so. Colesbury apparently has got a glitch, which is why he's in spectator mode. You can probably see that on your screen right at the bottom. He's in spectator mode. Apparently, people have started qualifying already on his end, which is very strange. I've never seen that before. Maybe a restart of the game would absolutely help, I think, in that respect. And hopefully he'll be able to come out of spectate mode, which might be the case. He might have just selected spectate mode, and no wonder he can't select anything in terms of that. Yeah, the spectate mode certainly is... It looks like it's ghosted out, actually, on his end, which is very weird. I've never seen that before. Hopefully, though, we might be running into a couple of minutes delay if he is going to be
well,
returning.
He just left, so I think he is resetting his game.
Which I don't blame him, to be honest, because obviously we don't want glitches starting off the season. Of course, coming around here at Bahrain, the circuit, of course, that we tuned in on, of course, on F2 during the week, on Thursday, of course, and that was a pretty decent race, I've got to say, from our perspective. And anything like F2, we should be seeing drivers in towards the 127 to 28 mark again.
Yeah, I think that's 100% the range we'll be looking at, and I definitely think will be a good pace thing. And hopefully, we were talking about in the pre-race, the before the air came on, is that punctures usually don't happen around Bahrain. But in F2, when a safety car came out early, puncture did happen, so they know how to take good care of the tires here in F1. But at the same time, if tire wear gets a little bit too... If safety comes in at the wrong time, we may see some drivers stretch it, and who knows, maybe another puncture happens.
Yeah, possibly so. I mean, obviously we saw... did we see a safety car in F2? I can't remember from Thursday.
Yes, we did. That slow crash that happened right before the pit lane. Right?
Oh,
yes. The 1 mile an hour crash took the right wheel off I think the AlphaTauri, if I'm not mistaken.
Mr. Ray Meeder, of course, that was, for reference, coming through 10:15, who went pretty much re-wing into the wall and tried to spin the car around, and then he went 1 mile an hour into the wall, which is probably the slowest crash ever in TTML history. So unfortunately he's got that record so far. Looking at everyone supporting Khan is the best, Khan will win. We have to put everything into perspective. There are, for me personally, there are much quicker drivers than Khan. I look forward to seeing how he gets on, but the likes of Jensen, the likes of Lynx, who are already proven in TTML F1, I think they're going to be quite tough to topple over, to be honest.
Oh, they are. I think we're about to get ready here. I think Carl has rejoined, so we'll be ready to start here. But yeah, it's good to know he has like a rabid fan base there that's willing to support him here and give him a cheer on. So it's always good to have that kind of audience behind your back. But it's also a little bit more pressure because if he ends up making a mistake, or if he ends up kind of crashing out, people are going to look at him and kind of watch him with more of a microscope. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. If he does well, everyone cheers him up. But if he does wrong, he's going to fear the eye of the public.
Yeah, I have a feeling as well, Lynx was complaining about a 1-bar connection. I can certainly see it on my end, he's a 1-bar, and apparently he's having some weather issues at the minute. He must live down in the southeast of England, because there's a big squall line basically going across the country at the minute, and it's around the southeast of England, so I think he's probably experiencing that now. Hopefully it doesn't affect his connection, hopefully we don't see him leave, of course, going through the session. I haven't got onto the track either, in Bahrain, of course, at the Sakhir International Circuit, 5.4 kilometres and then 3.3 mile, 15 turns awaiting our drivers out on track, 3 DRS zones, 1 down the start finish straight, 1 down in towards turn 4, up the hill and towards turn 4, and 1 in towards turn 11, of course, down the old F2 pit straight. And Pepsi, this is a track that obviously will catch quite a few people out, but when you get a lap right around here, like we saw with Yona and F2, it's very enjoyable to watch.
Oh, it is 100%. There's some corners that are very tricky. I know at the end of Sector 2, I think it's corner 9 if I'm mistaken, where it's easy to clip the inside and spins out. There's a few other corners as well where if you get it wrong, you end up kind of just muggling your lap, and it's a little bit momentum-based, this track. But when you get it all right, it's fun to watch, and it's also great as a driver, a confidence booster to feel good when you make that lap around here successfully and really push the limit from spinning to success.
Race is rigged if Khan doesn't win. I'm liking some of the comments that are coming through, by the way, unlike another league that we had a few issues during the week, let's just say. Mr. Jarno Opmia in PSGL PC F1, quite a few people complaining about him. But 15 drivers out on track, of course, we are about to get going on the track, and only 15 drivers, I've got to say, it's disappointing for TTML F1. We normally have a full grid, first round of the race. Jensen, however, is going to be the first man out on track in the Red Bull. He's going just to be followed actually just in front. I think that is Basti coming out the pit lane, if I'm putting my memory on it. No, it's actually Smalley coming out the pit lane. Yeah, Smalley coming out the pit lane just ahead of him, and Jensen there, second, coming out the pit lane. The Alfa Romeo, of course, coming out ahead of him, and I'll get everything up in terms of the telemetry and data and whatever, and it looks like, certainly, first two out on a set of medium compound tyres. In fact, everyone pretty much coming out on that set of medium compound tyre.
Yep, we've seen that in F2, and most of these races are this week. A lot of drivers go out there on that medium tire, kind of a little bit of a mixed bag. Some are out on a set of softs, but they want to get a feel for the car on the track, maybe get rubbered in, and then go for the soft laps if they feel like they can, or some may even stay on the mediums if they think they can get a high qualifying order. But you usually see it at almost every track, with Bahrain being a track with its tire wear being a little bit on the lower side. You do see the medium runners come out early on instead of just being softer days.
Yeah, definitely. I think in terms of the strategies around here, obviously drivers coming out on the set of mediums so far in qualifying. Of course, that new rule is going to come into force in 2022. If you haven't heard about it, qualifying to Q2, basically the tyre change rule that we have. Obviously, you start on the drivers normally start on in Q2 in real life on the tyre that they qualified on in Q2. That has been scrapped. Hopefully, it's going to provide a lot of strategy. There's already a spinner coming through turn 8.
That is
it's one of the Haas's
of Hyper. Looks like Hyper lost going off in the braking corner there, just in the end of corner 5 there, and it looks like he got it okay. No hits or anything, but probably just made a little bit of a braking mistake there, and he'll get it refired with no damage, so no harm, no foul.
Let's run on board then with Jensen on the run towards the line. The Shazoo man, of course, on the way down in towards turn number 1. And this is the first lap of TTML F1 this season with just 3 minutes gone in the session. As Jensen now comes down in towards turn number 1. Will take second gear through here at around 50 miles an hour, coming through turn 2. A little bit sketchy coming out of turn 2, actually. And then through turn 3. He's actually invalidated through there. And that invalidation came a lot later than when he actually rolled on the curb. So I'll go behind onto Smalley because he's actually valid on a lap. He's coming through turn number 4 now. Smalley, of course, one of the drivers that debuted last season in TTML F1 and did quite well on his debut, I've got to say. 28.1 through the first sector from the Alfa Romeo. He comes through turn number 7 and then in towards the right-hander of turn number 8, of course, where Lance Stroll famously rolled it in 2020. Smalley now coming down the hill in towards turn number 9 and then in toward the left-hander of turn 10. My favourite 2 corners on the track, I've got to be honest. That double left-hander, if you get it right, like Smalley's just done, is so nice to take. As Smalley comes through in towards the left-hander of turn number 11, and then we go, of course, in towards the right-hander car killer corner, as I like to call it, of turn number 12, and he will reach that point at around about now. Goes through turn 12, avoids the curb nicely. 105.8 through the middle sector from Smalley. Now through 13, he's got Jensen, of course, in front of him. Can get a little bit of slipstream possibly down the straight if Jensen slows up, but Smalley on a consistent lap. This hasn't looked quick, but it's a consistent lap, and this will get him on the board if he doesn't invalidate coming through turn 14. And he's just invalidated through turn 14 as he runs to the line. It would have been a 27-7, and that is the first commentator's curse of the season so far. As Lynx comes to the line, 127.5, and Khan actually goes to the top, 27.4. That might be the first and last time you might see Khan on pole position, so take a photo quickly.
We're going to take a quick look in at the Khan supporters here in the chat, and I think they're going to be writing some messages soon, so we'll have to wait and see how they cheer on their driver. But yep, that is a pole position on a set of softs, so yep, take a photo, take a screenshot. It's like when I'm in like other leagues myself and I race and I know I'm slow. I just like take a picture because it won't last long. At least I can say I was at pole at one point. But anyway, we'll look on here and see who else is on the run here. We do have the McLaren coming to the line of Fledley, and he will put it on a set of softs, and he will... Actually, never mind. Invalid. I think he was just on an invalid. You are correct. You have a Red Bull, and that will be pole. Actually, no, Fleddy was not invalid, so a little bit of a weight pop there. Fleddy takes pole, and then Med takes it back. So Med is now P1, Fleddy is second, Khan is third. Basti, I believe, just went fourth, if I'm not mistaken. So a little bit of an RG Bargy situation here. Carl's about to go to lap down. He did 127.562. That would be P5 for him. And I think that's the end of the major runners here, because I think next up is Jensen in the end of the third sector, and he's slowing down. So some drivers are starting the runs, but I think that is our first major section here of drivers putting down times.
I have a feeling we've got a little bit of a glitch going on within the lobby, if I'm not mistaken. The times seem to be coming through around maybe 7-8 seconds after they come across the line. So that is just a note. If you can maybe put that into Funky Chicken, of course, he's out on track at the minute, but he will be able to see the message. He's out of lobby host, so possibly we might be I would say probably a lobby restart might just fix it all, and then of course we can just waste a little bit of time going through everything else. Meti see the out on top, 32nd, Khan and third. You never know, things might improve improve as the session goes on. Certainly on my end, it's absolutely fine. We've got no weather up here or anything. Carlsbury was on a lap. He's invalid, though, through the first sector. Funky Chicken is coming through the right-hander of turn number 12, and then towards 13, he's also off a lap at the minute. Hyper's coming back into the pit lane. Rudy, I believe, is out on a lap, though. He's coming through the middle sector of turn 13. And actually, he looks like he might be just getting a lap time on the board. And again, through the middle sectors are popping up nicely. But Rudy running, I think he's going to probably run out of fuel just before he comes to the line. MedTC, though, out on top, Freddy second, Khan in third. And Mr. F1 Esports, at the moment in time, is out on top from Freddy in second.
Yep, that is the case. I think Rudy is on a lap here, so we'll see. Yeah, he's coming in to remind, as he did come into the pit lane. So it looks like everyone is bailing in for the most part here. But yeah, Miss P1 at the very least, trying to see if anyone else. I think Chalker's on a cooldown run. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think that is pretty much it. As we see a big stack up in the pit lane. Mercedes all double stacked along with the Red Bulls as well. They're all just kind of car parking it inside. I think something just happened, because I'll let you tell me what happened.
There was a car apparently driving the wrong way down the pit lane, says Blackbox. I think that might have been Jensen, and it was Jensen. Look at the right side end plate. He's got right side end plate damage coming out the pit lane. So Jensen has clearly had a moment. I think maybe coming out of the pit lane, he's just got too leery on the tyres, and he's got right side end plate damage. So not a great start for the defending champion.
Nope, maybe the pressure of trying to repeat is causing a little bit of trouble. So the flags are really starting to pop off now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. So somewhere a phantom yellow is happening, so we may be in for a lobby reset here. We'll have to wait and see how it is ruled on. But for the very least right now, we do have other drivers going out there. Hyper, Jensen as well, but has to obviously come back in to fix the damage. Chris is going to start a run here on his soft, so we'll keep an eye on him as he has just started his run here. Just going to kind of cut through and see if anyone else is a little bit closer. But I think Carl is coming through. Yeah, he's on the last straight, so actually we'll see what Carl is, but I think he may be coming in, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see through the last corner what he can put down here. And we'll get a quick check, see if he pulls in, or if he does a bank on that. No, he's way too down his time. So yeah, this is not going to be competitive. So it looks like he's going to go for one more push. So kind of odd that he decides not to take the hard right here and come back in. But well, I guess we'll cut back to Chris and just see as he comes through the end of section, coming through corner 5 here, coming in on the pinch of the apex here, and then your favorite corner coming up here. We'll see if he doesn't make a mistake in that Williams, and maybe he can put something down here and not overlock. It looks like he gets in the brakes relatively okay. A little bit of a lock up on the left front, but not too much. Gets the car kind of rotated in. Could have got a little bit more in the apex and probably hit it. And he's got a couple more corners for the end of Sector 2, so we'll see where his times are placed as he gets to these last couple corners here.
Yeah, Chris coming through turn 11, and he's really fighting the car, I've got to say. This is not looking like a great lap at the minute for the German, as he now comes through the right-hander of 12, in towards turn 13. And he's also trying to, basically, I've just lost my train of thought. Chris, anyways, is down in towards turn number 14. The Williams, of course, is on a lap. He's not on a set of soft compound tyres, as you've seen on the left-hand side. Currently on a set of mediums. Halfway through qualifying, though, TTC out on top as Chris nearly spins it at the final corner. Nearly lost it in towards the wall, and rightly so. I think he comes back into the pit lane. Black Box, by the way, is also on a lap. 27.9 through the first sector from Black Box. Looks like he had it coming together with Jensen, possibly. Apparently, Black Box brake checked Jensen coming out the pit lane, which is why Jensen picked up the right side end plate damage. So Black Box could be prone to the stewards, of course. He now comes through the middle sector. We're right above this lap. It's a 105 flat through the middle sector. So he's looking quite good in terms of this time. Expect him to go maybe between Fleddy and Khan, or maybe ahead of Fleddy at this time. Black Box is on the run towards the final couple of corners. Through turn number 14, and then through the right hand of turn 15. It's MedTC out on top, Fleddy second, Khan in third. But Black Box, I think, is going to go ahead of Fleddy with this to the line, and he does go ahead, and that's more like it. We actually do get a time that just came across the line, 26.3, and Black Box goes second, and that's more like it from the Brit.
Yep, that is a good lap by Black Box there. When you said Fleddy, I thought MedTC, like, oh, he didn't beat MedTC, but he did beat Fleddy, so you were correct, and I was mistaken, but good lap for him. I think the Ferrari has made a mistake. Yeah, Khan was kind of wrong way around right before the end of Sector 2 there, not in the car killer corner in turn 11, though. Made a slight mistake. I think Hyper now puts down a lap in the Haas, and that'll be a 126.344 for him. So P2 for the Haas driver there, and that's a pretty good lap from on a set of softs. But one thing that shocks me right now is Basti is still P6 on a set of mediums.
Oh, he's quick.
Oh, he is on a set of softs now, though, at the very least, so he will put down a better lap, and he is quick. So we'll see through the last sector here what he can put down. He's got one more corner to go. Hope he does not invalidate it and make a mistake. You're going to try to get as much time he can through the apex corner. Gets a good exit. I think I'll agree on that point, as I think Linux went P3, but it's not going to matter right now, as Bastide's going to cross the line with a 127.508.
Oh, no, there it is. There we go.
125.815. I'm like, that was clearly a 125. And then it did an update. So, all right, yeah, pole position for Bastide. I guess this is how I felt during Singapore when we did that F2 race when my game decided not to update. So, feel a little bit of a delay, except I'm in the lobby. But anyway, though,
Rudy
we got
as well.
P2, and that updated when he was in corner 1. So, yeah, we do got a bit of a delay factor here. As I think someone else just jumped in that top 5, or maybe Med.
Rudy.
No, Fletty improved, and he jumped Med down Med 1. So, yeah, Fletty is improved by 1 as well. So I think last up, trying to find if anyone else is here. Jensen is on another run, but right now, ooh, he's going to get away with the Haas. We'll have to keep an eye on Jensen, as he's currently in Sector 2.
Yeah, we've got a major desync connection, I think, going on here, either with the lobby host, or there's certainly some sort of desync going on in the lobby, and that's why we're seeing the lap times come through later than actually necessary. I've calculated up, it's around 10 seconds in terms of the times from coming across the line. It's only affecting certain drivers. It didn't affect Basti coming into the line. It did affect Rudy, however. Jensen, however, is on the lap. And looking through the middle sector, look at his middle sector, coming through the top right-hand corner. He's around 10 seconds off, so it's a 104.1 in the middle sector from Jensen. This is looking significantly quicker than Basti's middle sector. He's around 4/10 up on Basti's time at the minute, and now Jensen coming around the final 2 corners. This should be a mid-125 if we are getting this right. Jensen around the final corner on the run to the line. It's so difficult to see what time it's going to be setting. I would say to 25.4 from Jensen as he comes to the line, and he should be updating around about now, hopefully. Hopefully.
It actually looks longer because the clock was taken. I was looking at it, and what happened was it's still ticking around on my screen yet. 128, 129, 130. Did he invalidate? When we were not paying attention?
It might update coming to the first sector. He didn't invalidate. That was a perfect lap from Jensen.
It just updated right when he was in the first sector. Yeah, it's second. He updated going up the hill and corner 3 right before corner 4 there. So that took a long time to update there at the very least. And the other thing I'm kind of noticing is with the desync as well, is that it's kind of counting sector times kind of odd, where it's like, it's just kind of weirdly showing it, but that's just desync for you in that question. But yeah, kind of odd at the very least.
It's really odd. I've seen this before, and we've had a lobby restart normally, and that fixes the problem. It might be because, obviously, Lynx is experiencing desync at the minute, obviously, in terms of the drivers and in terms of the weather. Chris to the line, he does actually set a lap time, 26.9. He, again, though, was around 6/10 off in terms of his actual lap time. So Chris, 26.9. There is a major desync issue. We do apologise for this, by the way. It's beyond our control. Obviously, I've informed Funky in Discord about the possible problems that we're having, and if you tuned into the stream, obviously you'd see that. So I apologise to anyone that might be viewing the stream. Hopefully we're going to try and keep you up as much as possible on the lap times that are being set. Bastiat on top, Jensen second, Rudy in third at this moment in time. Chalkers, however, looked like he was on a lap. It's a 107.7 though through the middle sector, but you can tell how we're getting the desync. Look at the yellow flags going through the rest of the circuit. That is a clear indicator there is desync in the lobby.
Yeah, that is 100% indeed here. Definitely something is desynced at the very least. But what was weird as well is it's only affecting certain drivers, because when Chris crossed the line, it updated perfectly. So only certain drivers are desynced, and hopefully everyone sees everyone, or else this may be an interesting corner 1 going to race. So we may need to get a lobby reset in ASAP just to make sure no drivers accidentally take each other out on first race of the season. But looking at, I think everyone is coming in. A couple drivers are on outlaps as we speak. Only driver, yep, everyone is on an outrun. Chris is probably going to be coming in, I think, this time by... Actually, this does look competitive, so hold on. We'll see what Chris can do here. Can he... No, he's coming in anyway, so never mind. Oh, he did. Oh, yeah, because the whole flag on my screen is like green or white, and there's a little corner there that's red. So, yeah, you are correct. Just very hard to tell when half the flag... half it looks like a Christmas tree or like a weird stop line combination. But anyway... Khan just started a lap, so we'll see how the Khan supporter is currently in 12th. We'll see if he can maybe get up to pole and help the supporters out here.
It looks like he's actually on a valid lap time in terms of the timings as well, as he comes through turn 2, on the run up towards turn number 4 this is, and he's taken the esports line through here, which is quite nice, I've got to be honest. Obviously you go to try and get the car rotated in nicely. Car now on a lap coming through in towards turn 6 and 7, through the first sector, 27.8 through the first sector, and the first sector split is now entirely gone. 27.8 though, make a note of that through the first sector, as car now comes through the right-hander of turn number 8, and then in towards turns 9 and 10, looking as well. Plenty of updates coming through in the comments section about Khan. He is on the lap though, coming through turn number 10, and he's looking quite good here, is Khan. But it looks as if the timings have glitched once again. It seems to be the middle sector, coming through 9 and 10, where it's happening. And Khan now coming through the final couple of corners in the middle sector. We'll see what this lap time is going to be coming through the middle sector. And the split time, around a 1, says a 28.1 again.
Oh, there it goes.
105.7 through the middle sector from Khan.
I just saw it flash up there. Is 1.55 up on his time, so it is an improvement right now, but it will only put him probably P11, maybe, yeah, P11 would be his improvement right now. So we'll see what he does as he crosses the line here. Just want to update there. As here he comes down the line, Khan, we'll see if he can go any higher, maybe jump his team. P11 for him, a 127, 183, so just a slight improvement in the second sector and a slight one in the third. Still, at least he'll get free tire choice at the rate he's going.
Yeah, I think it was Neymar coming in the comment section there about it, saying, obviously, we are going to restart the lobby after qualifying. Just had that through from Mr. Funky Chicken in the Discord server. So, obviously, to eliminate the desync issues that these drivers are having, we're going to restart the lobby, which I think is the sensible thing. Obviously, we've gone too far on to even restart it now, with still a minute to go in the session. Basti out on top, Jensen in second though, both of these drivers now on a lap, Rudy coming through the first sector, he is not on an outlap by the way, 27.8 through the first sector again from Rudy, and I'll try and be mathematically correct in terms of the sector times that we have, given the glitch that we've got at the minute. Basti out on top, Jensen second, Rudy in third, and Jensen also on a lap, he's coming through the first sector I believe, just in behind, coming through turn number 8, and now Rudy on the run down and towards turn 11, looking quite good so far in this. Basti though out on top, Jensen second.
Oh, sorry, I just want to say Boston went P10, so I just saw him jump up down the timing board there. Sorry, just wanted to point that out.
Rudy coming through turn number 12, and then into the right-hander of turn 13, and again, he's on his outlap. We don't know what time this is going to be. I think he's actually improving, though, in the middle sector once again, and we're right on board with him, on the run down towards the final couple of corners. There's Khan getting out the way on the right-hand side, as now Rudy comes in towards the final couple of corners. There is a yellow flag in that sector. Don't worry about it at all. Hyper goes fourth. Good lap time from him. Rudy to the line. I think she'll go quickest. He goes second. 5,000's off in the end. Basti is invalidated, I think, on his lap. And Jensen is actually on a good lap, a 10th and a half up to the line. Jensen goes quickest, 25.7. Anybody else on that runs?
Hyper's on a run right now. MedCC is also on a run as well. 1 3rd section, so Hyper's going to be the next one to cross. Actually, sorry, my map's wrong. Hyper is not going to cross the line next. It's going to be Fletty, says on Atlas. So I think Fletty is going to be next up line here. Can Fletty make a run here? And it will be 126, 113. That will be an improvement, but not enough to jump any higher. Next up is MedTC down the last corner here as well. P6 right now. Can he get close to his teammate, make it a 1-2 lockout for Red Bull?
He might go quicker than
him, at the very least. It's going to be a 125, 978. Only P4 for the Red Bull driver. Lynx has decided to call it a day at the session right now. I think Christy jumped up. Yeah, P9 for him. We got Funky Chicken up next, along with, I believe, Smalley, if I'm not mistaken. So Smalley up next is going to be a 126 something.
He's backed off.
Oh, he's backing off. Yeah, he's going to be last really anyway. Funky Chicken P9. Just seeing anyone else here is going to run for it. I think we got Hyper. Hyper's still in 3rd sector. I think he's going to be the last one to cross the line here. So Carl's just crossed the line. We got the Alpha. Oh, that is. Okay.
It's the end of qualifying. Yeah, Hyper's not improving, Rudy's not improving. Everyone else has set lap times. Jensen is out on top from Basti in second, Rudy in third. And Jensen, he left it late on in the session. He had front wing damage, obviously, from Black Box earlier on. Jensen, though, out on top from Basti in second, Rudy in third. And I'll repeat this once again. We will have a lobby restart after the end of qualifying. Apparently, Funky Chicken's connection is playing up, so that is probably why we're going to get a lobby restart. Hopefully, as I say, it might just fix things. If it doesn't, we'll just have to run with the glitches that we have got. But no qualifying will be repeated. This is the grid order that we have on my screen. And to prove that, I'm going to send the photo through to Funky Chicken, so he already knows what he's doing. And there we go. There's the top 15 taken. Jensen out on top, Bassi second, Rudy in third. Looking further down the field as well. In fact, Jensen down to Chalkers is separated by 1.2 seconds. So it's not a bad qualifying session for F1.
Yeah, that's not a bad qualifying session as well in F1. Jensen, again, P1, looking to try to finish title. And yeah, pretty good qualifying for some other drivers here. But it is the first race of the season, so again, try to get those jitters out of the way. Maybe set stone and set a good pace for you for the rest of the season here.
Let's have a run through of the grid order. It is Jensen out on top by a tenth of a second from the Austrian Basti. Not the Spaniard Basti, the Austrian Basti. Rudy there in third from TC in fourth. Hyper there in fifth. Fleddy in sixth. 4/10 of a second covering the top six. Colesbury there in seventh. Then quite close actually further down. Lynx, Black Box and Funky Chicken run off the top 10 and they're covered by around a tenth and a half of a second. Chris there in 11th. Boss Wanted in 12th. Chalkers 13th. Khan in 14th. Smalley right down the back of the field there in 15th, the Scotsman. But Jensen out on top, Bassi second, Rudy in third. It sets us up very nicely for the actual race. And once we get, of course, into the formation app, I will try and leave the session. At the minute, I can't.
Yeah, I can as well, because when you're spectate mode, you're just stuck waiting until an opening comes. So we're just going to kind of have to wait it up here and wait it out as a bunch of drivers are leaving. So yeah, we're just going to wait out, but then take a picture, check your screenshots, and be ready to go, because this is going to be our qualifying order for the race in a couple minutes.
Funky Chicken saying close your applications, he is saying, so that might be causing through the issues as well. Funky Chicken has got the results already, which is good. We will try and keep the same stream. If we have to start our applications, of course, I will try and get everything up in due course. I've got the thumbnail and everything saved, so it should be no problem.
I'm frozen, so
at all.
I'm going to have to reclose, because I'm not fancying onwards, so
now I am.
Good president for you. Oh, good.
I am, which is good. Everyone could just see a loading screen going into the race with like 2 people, and it'll probably tell me, oh, you don't have enough people to start the actual session. And that's exactly what has just came up, seeing as I've just said that. Hopefully, though, we will get everything going underway very soon indeed. Jensen saying, actually, in terms of his qualifying, he was a quarter of a second off his actual personal best. So, not too bad at all from Jensen's perspective. And hopefully, it's going to set him good, obviously, for the race and continue on that fine run of form that he had last season, which wrapped him up, of course, the championship. But we will get going very soon indeed. I'm going to wait for an invite to the lobby, and it's always the first race of the season. Last season we had Portimao, same thing happened, where we had lobby glitches galore, and now this season, once again, another lobby glitch. It's as if Codemasters don't want us to run the first round of the season here in TTML.
I honestly think it's better it's coming out the first race of the season than the last race of the season, because if the last race of the season, more pandemonium can happen. At least if it's the first race, we get it out of the way, we're all justified, the next 13 rounds are nice and clean, so it's better to have these kind of bugs now, rather than in 13 weeks' time. I guess 15 because of the 2 off weeks, but 13 rounds later. So it's good to have it at least now, and for some reason, no matter how many times this game gets updated and how many times it happens, there's always one bug persistent or something, so yeah, just a bit of you have to deal with it sometimes in the realm of these things, but we'll get it nice and fixed up and be ready to go as quickly as we can. At least the stream didn't shut down, so at least one positive there.
Jamie, by the way, in the comments section saying Khan needs some chocolate to get pole position. I think he'll need more than chocolate, to be honest, because they get pole position. I'm really, really sorry, Khan. I do apologise. I'm almost like berating him on the stream, and I don't want to do that to him, but yeah, really good. He messed up with his setup, apparently, did Khan. The F1 patch update, I'm not sure when the next F1 patch update is actually going to be coming out. However, with obviously the new game probably in the works as we speak, I would think there'll probably be a very limited amount of patches coming before the end of this actual game cycle.
I think it's probably going to be 1, maybe 2 more at most, because they've already updated almost everything. So they don't really got anything else they're going to add, because the next game is on the way, because that's how Codemasters is. So I wouldn't be shocked to get 1 more unless it's something major. So yeah, 1, maybe 2 at max.
Yeah, which is not too bad, hopefully. Obviously, Codemasters do get their act together in terms of the patch update and everything else, barring that. Basti asking in the Discord as well, saying, Does everyone start on the same tyres as before? Yes. So if you started on that set of soft compound tyres, of course, if you qualified in that top 10, you would obviously qualify on what tyres you were basically qualifying on. Everyone else further down the field, because we didn't actually get, as I got a lobby invite there, because we didn't actually get into the physical race, the drivers further down the field can actually choose whatever tyre they want to go on, and that's pretty much, I think, really good. It helps them out as well, and the strategy is going to be quite different, I think, further down the field as well. And it looks as if I might have to restart my application as well at this point, because it's not joining me into the session, which is just typical.
Okay, that's not good, so yeah, we'll have to reset the stream, and we'll see you for the race in the next broadcast.
The absolute joys. I'm just going to wait for about a minute and talk you through, of course, what's to come here tonight in Bahrain, and obviously next week in Spain as well. We've got Spain coming up next week. It is a rule in all divisions, and in terms of the top 10, I think Jamie is on about there. Yes, everyone, if there was a lobby restart, top 10 qualify on that sort of same soft compound tyre or medium compound tyre, whatever the top 10 qualified on. Everyone else further down the field, of course, can start on whatever the tyre they want, because in this scenario, we didn't actually get into a lobby with the race because drivers obviously left and we had the lobby restart. And speaking of restarts, I'm going to have to restart my application, which is so unfortunate. I am going to do a few little things to just change the details and everything, but we will be back up in just a second. So, thank you so much for watching. Please tune in around 2 minutes' time. For now, goodbye.